Hello, and my name is Peter Rushmer, and I'm your host today of a Half Dozen Things podcast. A Half Dozen Things is a podcast for business owners and professionals just like you. Whether you're an underdog hungry for success or you're already smashing it but want to continue to level up, we're here each week for you to get insight and learning from the very best in the business. No fluff, no BS, and no self-proclaimed gurus talking about how easy business or life is. Just real, frank, and raw conversations. We've got a red light, so we're recording. Hello, Jo. I'm really excited to have Jo Bevilacqua join me today. I've just given you a bit of an intro, Jo, to the listeners, so they know a bit about you. But you're like multiple business owner, super successful businesswoman from Peterborough. And tell me a little bit more about your businesses and Serenity Loves and the Unique Mompreneur, which you're now rebranding as well, I think.
Yeah. So I started my first business 11 years ago now. I was on maternity leave with my first daughter. Knew that I didn't want to go back to work. I was working in a childcare facility, nursery at that time. The wages weren't great. I mean, I loved what I did, but I just didn't think that it was right for me to go back and look after other people's children. Because I was supervisor of the toddler room, when actually my daughter would probably be downstairs being looked after by somebody else. So I think I knew when I went on maternity leave that wasn't going to be an option for me. And then my husband, my partner at the time, we've been married since, he was in a job that he'd been in since school. He was probably quite undervalued, underpaid. And we just decided that actually one day we were just going to get a personal loan, 20 grand from the bank, buy a van, buy some tools, get a website done, and start out doing flooring on our own. So, yeah, we decided that's where it started basically. We had no expectations whatsoever what it was going to look like. But we would learn a lot. And then 2 years after that, I had the idea of a salon with a crèche. It was something that I needed myself. So we decided that I was going to go hell for leather with that. I had the idea on my birthday in June 2011, and we were open with a team of 6 in March 2012. And over the last 8 years, we've grown that. We've got a team of 16. We've, like I said, we're a really successful business. It gives me a life that I've always probably dreamed for, but it also gives me the flexibility, and it gives me the opportunity to help other people, regardless whether that's our employees, whether that's our customers, whether it's the community. We're quite heavy. We do a lot in the community and for charity and stuff. So it's allowed me to live a really lovely life. And then being semi-retired at 32 probably sounds like the dream for most people. And it was maybe for a couple of months, but I got very bored very quickly and probably a little bit depressed actually. My husband used to do the school run in the morning, and so I really didn't have anything to wake up for. Like the kids didn't finish school until 3:30, and so yeah, I decided to then set up a community for women. I was getting lots of requests to go out for coffee and for lunch and stuff off other business owners to pick my brains, and there was a real lack of community, especially for women. So I decided that actually I was going to create a community for women to come together, to support each other, and to grow their businesses. So it actually gave them a life that they wanted as well. So we called that the Unique Mompreneur. We started that about 4 years ago. And then we've recently had a rebrand. So it's more under the Jo Bevilacqua brand. So I work with men and women to help grow their businesses, because although I feel like I'm quite approachable, actually when all your messaging is about women and mums and stuff, you are going to attract only those people, and other people are going to feel like they don't fit into that community, so they don't approach you for help. And it was really bothering me when I would hear that people were struggling with their businesses and they wanted to reach out, but actually they felt like they couldn't because they only help a certain type of person. So yeah, in the last couple of months, we've gone through a bit of a rebrand, and I've started working with more men as well. So yeah, it's all just a little bit exciting at the moment.
That's so cool. That is so cool. And you've got to do some really cool stuff, haven't you? You've like won some mega awards and been to the House of Lords and like crazy stuff like that. So tell me a little bit about the House of Lords.
Yeah, so that came from being so I got involved with Small Business Saturday. When we first opened the salon, I remember getting a leaflet through the door from American Express because our card machine, our PDQ machine at the time, did normal cards and then American Express. And American Express were helping to bring this American campaign over called Small Business Saturday. And I remember registering for that then, and they were encouraging people to shop small. So if you went into a business that was registered with Small Business Saturday and you spent X amount of money, they would then credit your account with £5. So I was like, it's a no-brainer. And we got a few new clients that came in and bought products or come and booked in for a blow dry or whatever. And I thought, this is brilliant. This is exactly what we want. We want everybody supporting small. Because although our branding has always been on point with Serenity, and a lot of people have thought we were a national company, it is just me behind it and my team. So we are a small business. With big dreams, but technically we are still a small business. So I got involved with Small Business Saturday kind of a little bit 8 years ago. And then probably about 3 years ago, I saw an advert for a kind of sponsored ad on my newsfeed about an awards called The Smalls, which is headed by a lady called Michelle Obbins. And she's a real champion for small businesses as well. Everything she does is about small businesses. And I thought, actually, that looks like a really fun awards do.
Nice. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of award dues that are great, but they're very formal. The Smalls knocks the socks off every other awards ceremony that I've been to. It is super fun, super inclusive. It's great. So we applied for that, and then we got shortlisted for our category, which was at your service, because obviously we're a service-based industry. And then when we went on the night, we walked in and we were sat right at the back, and I thought, well, there's no way that we're going to win this. I'd been to 2 previous awards that we hadn't won, so I was like, oh, so it's a night out in London. It was literally on the same road that I lived on for about 6 months, so that was a bit nostalgic. And I just thought, actually, we're not going to win this, so let's just enjoy it. It was free wine, so me and my friend who went down just got a little bit drunk, to be fair. Had no expectations because it was, again, like a national award. And then we won our category, which was amazing. And then we won the overall Small Business of the Year as well. Wow. So that was just like double bubble. Yeah, that was a little bit emotional, I'm not going to lie. And then from there, we then entered Small Business Saturday. They're doing like 100 small businesses. If they choose 100 small businesses around the UK, you have to apply for it and you get shortlisted. And with that, we then got an invitation to go and have like a summer solstice at the House of Lords. And I've actually been 3 times now, which is amazing. And it's just a great experience to go and be surrounded by other small business owners in the UK. Really kind of build your network, get to know other people, which is fab. And then we won an award at the Women Leaders, not last November before. And again, we won our category. And then I won the overall contribution to the community as well, which is fantastic, outstanding contribution to community. And with that, Lord Lieutenant Spence, I think her name is, I'm really bad with names. She then had...
Hopefully she's not listening then.
Hopefully not. I'm so bad with names. I forget my own kids' names sometimes.
Yeah, me too. It's fine. I've got 4 of them, so that's okay. That's my excuse.
Yeah, Jim, Bob, Fred, what's your name?
Yeah.
And then she, obviously, as a Lord Lieutenant, she has the power as such to invite people to the Queen's Garden Party at Buckingham Palace. So I was able to take my mum there last May. So Yeah, that was a great experience.
Proud
FaceTime with my
moments.
kids in the gardens of Buckingham Palace was pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So
Proud moments. Yeah, that's amazing. So you've done like loads of cool stuff, haven't you? Really, really sort of from a experience point of view, you've built sort of 3 substantial businesses, including, so there's a flooring business, so like a trades business, you've then got the hairdressers, and then obviously like a mentoring coaching business too, which is, it's incredible. And then obviously pots of awards too, like good quality awards, because there are some award ceremonies that maybe aren't quite as good as others. So you've done some really big national awards as well, which is amazing. It's like awesome. So well qualified to be sharing a half dozen things, I would say, and helping me on my journey as I start to understand a lot more about what success builds. So the first one, and you've written them to me and gone in no particular order. So I'm going to work out a little order for them, and I'm going to keep you on your toes. But I do want to start with USP, because I think that is where a good business starts. Is that fair?
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that we probably subconsciously nailed right from the beginning of our first business, is working out what your USP is. And
for the listeners, USP, unique selling point.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Jo, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I'll let you carry on now.
But I'd be that person at home going, what's USP?
Yeah, exactly. We've just got to just make sure we're clear on that.
Yeah, you don't have to be bright to be a business owner, and I'm probably going to be evident of that by the end of this. You'll be like, actually, she's just a bit ditzy. Like, how has she done everything that she's done?
I think you're going to dispel those myths. Come on, Jo.
Sure. So yeah, your USP, your unique selling point, that's something that we kind of nailed right from the beginning. And as I said, especially with the first business, it was very subconscious. We just knew that we wanted to deliver a service. We wanted to stand out. We were a brand new business. We never built our business on technically like taking clients from anybody else, or when Adam worked for that other business, their clients were their clients. We wanted to start afresh. We never wanted our success to be down to kind of underlined with any kind of mischief, if that makes sense. So our values were, we wanted to build a business that was right for us, but actually was right for our clients. So we knew as young 20-somethings, I think I was only 24 when we started the business, and Adam was only kind of 27. So we were quite young, really. And I just feel like we understood our client avatar straight away. We knew that people were busy. Like, I didn't want to go around, when I got my new house, going to flooring companies and having a look around was just a ball ache. Like, it's boring. How many different types of grey carpet can you look at? Like, it's a carpet.
100%.
The same with like laminate flooring. It's just not my bag.
No.
So I just want convenience. We live in such a busy society that actually convenience, regardless, people get so fixated on price. Like, I don't want to be the most expensive. Like, I've got to be the cheapest, or so and so is cheaper than me. But we never had those worries, because actually what we focused on was really good customer service, but convenient. So Adam used to go and get kind of a brief overview of a consultation on the phone. What's maybe your budget? What are you looking for? What style? And then he would then select 3, 4 maybe samples and then take them to the house. So when he was to measure up, he would have the samples so they can have a look in their environment. And to be fair, there's one thing, I went to an event last year and 3 words have really stood out to me, and that's confusion kills conversion, or confusion kills sales.
Perfect.
Like, it's so simple, but it's so powerful. If you're going to be in a warehouse with 150 different grey carpets with a slight difference in each, like, how can you choose something? Whereas somebody just brings you 3 or 4, then actually most likely you're going to be able to choose one, because they're the only options that you've got. And if they're not quite right, he can then go and bring some other ones, and that's okay too. But convenience definitely was the USP for our flooring company, for sure. It was about bringing samples to your door at a time and a date that was convenient for you. So was that convenient for Adam, having to go out in the evenings and weekends? Probably not. But actually, sometimes you've got to do the stuff that you don't want to do at the beginning of business, because that's how you get your name out there, and that's how you get your brand loyalty, because actually you will go above and beyond. So that's definitely something that we nailed with the Hallmark, as I said, subconsciously. Then when I opened the salon, our USP definitely was we were the salon with the crèche. So you could come and have your hair and beauty treatments done, and your child would be looked after in a dedicated area, which was decorated. It was like a nursery with a qualified DBS checked nursery nurse. And there was a camera linked to the crèche that you could watch in the salon. So we used to get a lot of people that used to leave their kids for the first time, like they hadn't even left them with their partner or their parents or a friend, but actually they left them with us because we had that trust. They could see them on the screen, they could see if they were in distress, they knew that they were literally kind of 20 meters away. So our USP definitely was kind of that trust and the crèche. And then I think we've definitely evolved on what our USP is. So customer service is, and that customer experience is definitely what our USP is at Salon. If you read our reviews, the fact that the girls the team are so welcoming, they're so down to earth, there's no judgment, just really pleasant employees that work for us, whereas there is a big stigma with salons, and actually it's quite intimidating to go into a salon, especially if you've just had a baby and you're not feeling great about yourself.
Definitely.
So we just keep it really simple. Yeah, so I definitely
one thing I wanted to ask you about, which I find fascinating and that I love about your business, and that is that a lot of people will say that you need to have done the job to run the business properly. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I just don't think it's true. I think at the end
100%.
of the day, and this is where a lot of people fail. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very vocal about getting advice from a business coach that actually has their own business. Like, for that, I'm really strict about, because there are certain things that you cannot understand unless you are a business owner. So people go, oh, why are you doing that for? Why don't you just go and get a proper job? Or they're not as maybe inventive or creative. There's certain traits that a business owner will have, and just because maybe, I don't want to upset anybody, you've done a course on how to coach people doesn't mean you understand the logistics about business. Like, it takes a certain type of person to be a business owner, and I think you have to be a little bit nuts, in all honesty, to like leave the security of a paid job, like guaranteed hours and a guaranteed wage, put all your life savings into a business that actually you're probably starting from scratch, and you're having to wear all these different hats. So not only do you have to do or deliver the product or service that you want to do, you then have to be marketing, accounts, social media guru, admin person. Like, there's so many different HR manager, like there's so many different hats. You have to be a little bit nuts to start. So I think it does, I would be very wary if you were to ask for advice from a business coach if they haven't had their own business. I'm very strict about that, and I'm very vocal about that, and I'll stand by that. But at the same time, I never worked a day in a flooring company. Like, flooring bores the shiz out of me. Like, it's fucking boring. Like, we walk into a house, the first thing my husband looks at is the floor, and I'm like, oh, you're so sad. And then, but I never worked a day in a salon either. Like, I'm not that precious about my hair, as you can probably tell from this video. Like, I'm just not that precious about it. And I never worked a day in a salon, but actually, the benefit that gave me, the advantage that gave me, was I treat my businesses as businesses. When you're too into it, when you really love what you do, you can end up treating it as a bit like a hobby or almost like self-employed. People don't want to build a business. There's almost like different stages in business, isn't there? You're an employee, and then you're a manager, and then when you start your own business, you then kind of go self-employed, and then you start building your teams, and then you start building your business, and then you can then walk away from it. There's not many business owners that's done what I've done, that have built 2 businesses that I then actually walked away from. People get too stuck in the doing. Like you say to people, okay, so talk to me about your business, and they're like, well, I am my business.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not healthy, actually, because if anything happened to you, God forbid, you broke a leg or you're in a car accident, you don't actually have a business. You're self-employed because you are your business.
100%.
So what I do is I really help people to treat their businesses as businesses, so that eventually they can take a step back and they're having that business run without them.
Perfect.
Is that the right answer? Did I go off on a bit of a tangent then?
No, not at all. You absolutely nailed it. So well done.
Gold star.
Gold star for Jo. Right.
Yeah, I was just going to say on USP, we've got a bit of a handout. So if anybody wants it, I can send it out. But there's kind of 10 things that we put on there that your USP could be. So obviously I've talked about convenience already, but it could be trust, which I've talked about with the salon. It could be your price. So you could be the cheapest. So actually you could be the most expensive, but it's about your quality. Yep. Time. So do you do things really quickly? Or actually, do you take longer? Do you treat your customers as VIPs? And actually, you're not just like a conveyor belt. Actually, you might take a little bit longer and a little bit more pride in your work. Guarantee, do you offer any kind of money back guarantees if they're not happy? Is there a cooling off period?
Or no snore guarantee, like our training. That's our guarantee.
I love
snore guarantee.
That.
Hashtag no snore guarantee. It's not our only USP, but that's our little hashtag.
I love that. That's great. And that's the thing, it's about being fun, isn't it? Exclusivity, size. So you might have a really small, intimate team, or you might have a massive team. Like, each side of the scale is not right or wrong, but you can use that to your advantage. Technology. Do you use the latest technology? Do you invest in that? Simplicity. This is something that's really kind of missed in business. People make things really complicated when actually all we want is no jargon, something that we can purchase quickly or use quickly or get quick results from. So simplicity, keep things simple. Is that your USP? Convenience or quality as well? So there's different things that will suit your business, and I definitely think that every business needs a USP, and they can definitely, if they delve a little deeper, they could work out what that USP is and use it in their marketing and their message to attract the right people.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, awesome feedback. And what I'll do is, if you can share that with me, then I'll put it out on the link when we share the podcast. Yeah, awesome stuff. Like I say, we've got this no snore guarantee, but at the moment we're just, like you said about the confusion kills sales. That's something that we're addressing at the moment around our offering and expanding our offering actually to make it less confusing. It's something I've been working quite hard in lockdown, so people will see a bit of a relaunch over the next couple of weeks too from us. Okay, moving on to the next thing, which I think was quite cool that you were alluding to just now, and that's about keeping it real. Talk to me a bit more about keeping it real.
Yeah, so I think in business there is a certain perception of how you should act and how you should talk and how you should communicate in business, that actually you need to be, I don't know, a bit bland, a bit neutral. You're not to have any specific thoughts or opinions, that you should be there to please everybody. I just don't buy into that at all. I just think actually, just in life, you wouldn't want to portray yourself to be something on social media and your marketing to be really professional, but then actually when they meet you, you are the polar opposite, because it's confusing. And then that then kind of then leads to distrust. Do you know what I mean? So when people on my social media, with my group, I am not bothered. I will do lives with no makeup. I'll do them from my bed. Like, I'm really not that bothered. I am who I am. Like, that's where I'm comfortable. If I don't want to wear makeup, I'm not, like, you're lucky I'm wearing it today, I'm not going to lie. But
me too. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. But you just want to, I just think you have to be true to yourself. Like, at the salon, we're a really fun team. Like, I actually think I'm hilarious. Like, I'm a really fun person. Like, I've always wanted to have fun at work. I feel like we spend most of our time at work. So it has to be fun.
Yep.
You have to enjoy it. It has to be a place where everybody feels welcome. So we've always been that salon and had that environment where we're actually really fun. We always have the music on, we'll be dancing around. We're still professional, we still do our jobs properly. It doesn't mean that we're any less knowledgeable, but we just like to build relationships with people, and we like to be able to have clear communication. Now, you can't do that if you're all acting like robots. Even in business networking, like, I will have no qualms of going business networking in my jeans. Like, I just don't, or a maxi dress. Like, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. And if people judge me on that, then that says more about them than it does me. Because I would never judge you for what you wear or who you are or whatever. So I just think you have to be true to yourself. I think it takes a lot of energy to act and be something that you're not. And actually, when you're a business owner, you need all the energy you can to push your business forward. So it's been said before that I'm probably really unprofessional at networking events, and it should be serious and it shouldn't be a laugh and things like that. But that same person that was saying that shit about me stood and sat and watched me get invited to Buckingham Palace. So for being me.
Go on, call them out. Who was it?
Okay.
Oh, you can't say. Oh, okay.
But who's winning? Who's winning? Like, I get rewarded for being my true self. If that's unconventional, that's fine. But actually, what it allows me to do is to attract people like me. Like, I don't want to work with boring people that don't like to have a laugh. Like, I don't want to work with people that are going to be offended if I drop the F-bomb, because I am known to do that. We've had a pre-conversation. Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
You are absolutely allowed to swear, yeah. You're absolutely allowed to swear, fuck's sake.
No C-bombs.
Yeah, no C-bombs. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I just think, actually, I want people to like me for who I am, not who I'm pretending to be. And that I want to communicate in real life and in business life as well. Because there's a saying, isn't it? Business is business. Nah, when you're a small business owner, business is never business. Business is personal. You put
100%.
everything into it. You put your life, your soul, your energy. You make sacrifices. So why would you want to do all that and have people attracted to you and your brand when it's not actually really you?
Yeah.
So I
100%. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's a lot of a persona thing, especially with business networking, around people being something that potentially they're not because they think that's the expectation. I remember, so I've not been doing it that long, and last summer it was nice, and I just banged out my shorts and polo shirt because that's what I wear. If I some of my clients, if I went into them in a shirt and a jacket and a tie, I'd literally be like, showing the door and walk back out again. And, as far as I'm concerned, shorts and polo shirt, smart casual, fine. They're not like jogging bottom shorts. They're like chino shorts. But yeah, I got lambasted for going networking in shorts. And it's like, really? Like, come on, give a guy a chance. And it's like, you're a hairdresser. You're like working in your business is hairdressing or floor fitting or even mentoring, etc. Now, all of that's around your personal brand. So it's so important to ensure that they are congruent. Since you said about an incongruence in how people sort of perceive themselves online as being super professional, and then when you meet in person, it being different, it did make me reflect, actually. I've run like a dual brand for a little while, the trucks and the training business, and one of the truck side could be a little bit more fun because it's dealing with transport and that's sort of what's acceptable. Whereas with the training side, first aid, mental health, that sort of thing, maybe we needed to be a bit more serious. But I found that really challenging, two voices, which is again why I've looked to sort of simplify things a bit, because it's just one true voice coming through. I'm trying to think of, can you think of someone or a business which is incongruent?
Apart from my own?
No, yeah, like, so I was just trying to think of a good example where, you know, a business appears one way and then actually when you deal with it, it's different, because that's not
Right.
going to deem success.
Uh, God, it's hard, isn't it? There's
Yeah, tough
quite a
question.
few though, to be fair.
Nice. Yeah.
And then do you know what? That's when then the imposter syndrome comes in,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, actually, they start doubting themselves because they don't know who they are, or they're not communicating that, and they have to put on a front. There's do you know what? There's more people that are putting on a front than more people that are real. Like, there was a buzzword for a while about authenticity. You need to be authentic and blah, 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 blah. And the same people that were spouting that shit were the people that were the least authentic. And you're like, and then it just turns you off even more.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And actually, I think you're the first person to have said about, look, keeping it real on the podcast. And this is one of the things around the podcast, was that it was really important for me. Like, some people think if you go and do a podcast or what have you, you're doing it because you're putting yourself as a position of authority or what have you. Well, I am a position of authority on some things, but not necessarily as a business owner. I'm quite new to that. I know my stuff about what the business is involved in. However, the purpose of the podcast was actually, do you know what? I want to learn stuff, and I learn by having great conversations with people and people who are more experienced than me. But at the same time, I give people, or potential prospective people who might use my services, the ability to get to know me a bit better as well. And actually, I have got humility. I don't think I know it all. I'm more than happy to learn, happy to listen. So actually, that when they then meet me, they actually know what they're going to expect from us as well.
I don't think anybody does know it all, do we?
No.
Like, one person said to me in a networking room, oh, you know that saying, if you what is the saying? And I literally nearly got sick on my food. If you're, oh my God, what's that saying?
If you're not the smartest in the room or something like that.
Yeah, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. And somebody literally said that, and I swear to God, I nearly spat my food out in his face. Like, how can you say that? There's always something to learn. Like, I don't think I'm great at business. I'm great at building businesses. I'm great at building a great culture. I'm great at marketing. I'm great at selling. Am I the best? Absolutely not. Have I still got stuff to learn? Absolutely. I've got books. I listen to audibles. I have a mentor. Like, I watch lives. I watch webinars. I've still got lots to learn. And things change as well.
Yeah.
Things are always changing. People are changing. People's behaviours, like, it fascinates me. And if I ever kind of do semi-retire again, that's probably the way I'm going to go down, is that psychology. Like, people's behaviours absolutely fascinate me. But if you think you're in the smartest room, like, you need to have a word with yourself. There's no such thing. Because I learn from my kids. I learn from my mentees. Like, you should be learning every single day, and you should be open to that. So I think what you're doing is great. Like you said, you're opening up dialogue. There's conversation to be had, and everybody's different. Some people might be listening to me and going, mate, she's annoying. Like, shut up. And there might be some people that are like, yeah, I love what she's saying. But actually, I'm strong enough in myself to know that I would attract people like me, and that's okay. Like, I want to repel people that are not like me, because actually they're just hard work. And I haven't got the energy to argue and persuade people. Like, I don't persuade anybody to work with me. I'm like, you work with me or you don't. I'm really not that bothered. I'm not begging for anyone's money.
That's such a good way. That's such a good way, though, to conclude this section, because that is really the underline behind why being real is so important, because actually you will work best with people who understand how you are. And despite what you show other people, when you're going to work long time with clients or long term with clients, that needs to be, it's almost like a marriage, isn't it? Not like a marriage, but it is like a marriage, isn't it?
It's like any relationship.
It's gotta be right.
Like, it's give and take. You have to have them clear expectations. So I'm quite frank in the sense of, I want to work with people that take action. If you have a victim mentality, if you can't take criticism, if you can't kind of explore ideas and different ways of doing it, if everything in life happens is bad for you, like, you're not my person. Like shit's happened to me and you just pull your socks up and get on with it. Like sometimes it might take a day, sometimes it might take a week, but actually there's people out there going through a lot worse than any of us at any one time. So it's about your resilience. I want to work with people that have resilience, that, you know what, I'm not afraid to try things. It might work, it might not work, but actually you tried it, which is a lot more than 99% of the other people that are sat on the couch thinking about it or talking about it or writing it in their journals thinking about it. Like, just do it. I have no qualms of making decisions, if it's the right decision, if it's the wrong decision, but at least I've made a decision. And you learn from your mistakes as much as you learn from your wins. So
no, perfect. Right, that moves me nicely on to point number 3, which was keeping it fun.
Yeah, I think we've kind of explored that anyway, haven't we? But I feel like we said, in business, I feel like it's all too serious.
Yeah.
I mean, we just need to have fun with it. Like, we need to have fun with our employees. We need to have fun with our clients. We need to have fun with our messaging. Like at the salon, as I said, we like really fun. And we like to keep it like that, like a really kind of no bitchy environment where everyone kind of, and there will be times where people grate on each other. Like when you're in a small environment with people for 40 hours and you're busy and you might be a little bit stressed, then it is hard to remain fun all the time, but it's about being conscious that that is our culture or part of our culture. And even down to little things, and you like you said, it's about how do you seek that through everything. So we've always had purple tunics that the team have wore in salon. And probably for about a year or two, they're like, can we wear our own clothes? This, that, and the other. I'm like, let me have a think about it. It has to be right for the brand. And I haven't rushed into anything because I feel like once you give people an inch, sometimes they take a mile. Like we have a summer uniform and it's probably taken about 3 years for people to actually get that just right. So giving them like hell for leather, letting them wear whatever they want is probably a bit like, oh, it's people's personal opinions. So it kind of sat with me for a while, and I had a breakthrough whilst on lockdown last month. And I was like, actually, why don't we have some slogan t-shirts? So hairdressing. So there's a few like hairdresser sponsored by coffee and creativity. There's some that's like, it says, let me fix your hair. Like sit down, let me fix your hair. Because obviously everybody's got these lockdown disaster haircuts at the moment.
Nice.
Home colours.
Bit like my beard, right?
Oh yeah, well, we had a conversation offline about that, didn't we?
We took that offline, didn't we? For the listeners, just so you know, first thing Joe goes to me was like, what's going on with your moustache? It's like, all right, cheers. So I've got like a little bit between here that doesn't grow so well. Savage, absolutely savage. If anyone wants the real, talk about keeping it real, she lives it.
I am that friend. I'm very like, we were talking about this last night, I'm very black or white, ride or die. Like, you're in my crew, I'm not that bothered. Like, I am that friend that if you think you look fat in something and you ask me and you look a little bit fat in something, I'm gonna tell you you look a little bit.
Nice.
Like, I'm no skinny mini myself, just to put it out there. But I am that friend that will say, actually, I'm not quite sure on that boyfriend, or I'm not sure that you may be. Like, I am the honest friend. I think that makes me a great business mentor, because actually I love dreaming big, but also I'm realistic as well. So yeah, no, I'm definitely that best friend that everybody needs, that little thing on their shoulder.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it is just about being true to yourself. And I think actually now it feels so right that we've got them slogan t-shirts. I think that fits with us. Like, we are fun. I don't know any other salon in Peterborough or the UK that would have fun slogan t-shirts, but actually that just cements our brand even further, and actually it feels right. So now we're going like hell for leather with it. So yeah, I'm excited.
I think I've seen them on Facebook and what have you as well, and they look really good, to be fair. Really good, really strong.
Shout out to Chris from Vibrant Colour, actually. He sorted them all out for me. So
yeah, I love Chris. Chris is a good guy, to be fair. He's a good guy. He's based here. I'm in Peterborough Workspace at the minute, and he's based downstairs. He's a good guy. So yeah, merchandise and what have you, he's your man. So tell me a little bit more about client experience then, because that is one of your key things too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think you'll probably see a bit of a trend that everything is kind of linked. And we've talked about this before, where you can have kind of coaches and advisors that are very good at one thing. So you'll have your kind of money or your accountants dealing with one bit. You can have your marketing team or marketing experts talking about one thing. You can have your HR. What I'm really good at is actually I've got experience in all of those aspects. So because business it's almost like the cogs, isn't it? They all have to work together to achieve what you want. And that's what I'm really good at. So obviously we've touched on client experience, but it's looking at all of those touch points, even before they come into contact with you, to when they're handing over their money and beyond. It's looking at all those touch points and how can you make each touch point the best experience for your client. So for example, it's about open communication, clear expectations. We're really hot on the salon of having kind of a telephone consultation, finding out their needs to make sure that they're booked in for the right things. If they haven't been to us before, we'll get them in for a face-to-face consultation, because not only does it allow us to do skin tests if they're coming in for a colour, but it allows us to see the quality of their hair. So we don't want people booking in if they've got mashed up, bleached up hair that we can't put colour on because it's going to be fried, because not only are they going to have bad hair, we're probably going to be shut down. So it's about making sure you don't have that problem right now.
No. Do you reckon they can do anything with my hair?
We've got some PVA glue in the playroom.
Don't, because I've had friends that have tried gluing hair on it. Didn't look good on them either. You know who you are if you're listening, and I'm glad you've gone back to a bald head, mate.
My husband's bald, so we have it ongoing. It's a bit of banter. Like, even so, my youngest, he'll walk in and she'll be like, "You're right, baldy head."
Yeah. So my nickname at one of my main clients is Shiny Pete. I've actually, to be fair, let's be honest to the listeners, I actually had to turn the lights out because when I first come on the call with Jo, my head was gleaming. It literally looked like a bowling ball. So I've like opened all the curtains and turned the light off. Not quite as shiny.
But that just explains it, doesn't it? The fact that you've got banter like that with one of your clients. I feel like that's how you would treat your friends. Why would you not treat your clients like that? It doesn't make you any less knowledgeable or what you offer any less valuable. It just means that we can have fun in the meantime. So
yeah, 100%.
No, I think it's just about how can we keep things fun with our clients? How can we keep things fun with our employees? I mean, we've loads of the awards that we've won have always had notes about what we do for our employees. So not only do we have like great training, but actually we have great incentives. We've got a holiday incentive that if we reach a certain amount of profit, we'll take them to Dubai. Like there's loads of things. We treat them for they get their birthday paid, like their birthday off paid. They get flowers on their anniversaries. They get holiday vouchers when they've been with us for so many years. Like, again, it's just valuing the people around you as well, isn't it? But the client experience, it's how at each point, that's what we were talking about, wasn't it? How we can make that as an enjoyable, because I think now we can access, there's so much competition, isn't there? Like with the internet now, that was a game changer. Social media is a game changer. Amazon was a game changer. Like we can purchase things and have them in our house the next day. Some things we can have in the same day, can't we?
Yep.
So actually, what sets you apart from your competitors? Actually, what experience can you give them? So for example, like I know it sounds really out there, but I honestly think if I would have worked in Toys R Us at like a high level, I probably would have had a good chance of saving them because they had no client experience whatsoever. And I think that's what a lot of the big chains are missing. And that's the advantage that we as small business owners have over the big boys, is that we can ensure that every touch point is enjoyable for our for our clients. Yeah. So things like Toys R Us, I just think actually, like, you remember as a child, I don't know if you remember going to Toys R Us, it was like, oh my God, we're going to Toys R Us, it's amazing.
I loved going as a parent.
Well, yeah, it's true. First time you
I was like on the little bikes and on the scooters and
But it just wasn't
Dad,
the
you're
same
embarrassing.
experience. If they had employees going around interacting with the kids, talking to the parents, showing the toys, because we know it was more expensive buying stuff from Toys R Us than it was from Amazon. But when you buy it from Amazon, there's no experience whatsoever. It's click a button and that's it. If you're actually showing people and educating people and interacting with them and building relationships, you look at Hamleys. Hamleys are well expensive, but you walk in there and it is like a toy wonderland. They have the employees there with the toys, interacting with the kids, interacting with the parents, and then you have no qualms. You don't even think about spending an extra £10 on something because actually you've had a great experience. Yep. So again, that goes back to your USP. You don't have to be the cheapest. You just have to give the best experience. I'm not the cheapest business coach, but I give a great experience. Like, we're not the cheapest salon, but we give a great experience. And we're not the cheapest floor fitters or floor suppliers, but we give the best experience.
Yeah, 100%.
So when people say to me, I'm not busy, I'm going to drop my prices, I'm like, no, up your prices and give a better experience.
Yeah, 100%. And that's actually really topical, certainly for us at the minute. So I've been really like banging my head with a brick wall with the whole COVID-19 thing. We've managed like 45 minutes without mentioning it, but first aid particularly. A lot of the other training we can take online, but first aid can't be done online. It has to be done in person because of the practical elements of that training. Now, our experience has always been very good with people. We've always ensured great experience, hashtag no snore guarantee, etc. The challenge we've got now, though, is that's competitive marketplace on price, and we have competitors who are more expensive, national brands who are a bit more expensive, and then we have in the face of it being a charity or charitable, etc. So they're a bit more money. And then we have like the small timers who run out of village halls who charge like next to nothing. They've got no VAT to pay, etc., etc. And it's like savage. And it's so, the level of quality of that service is going to be horrific. Who wants to sit in a stinky village hall smelling of fust and wee and whatever rats done in there, whereas they can get a decent training room here and have a good quality experience and a professional experience. So, but the challenge we've got is we've been impacted by cost per head because we've got to supply PPE to everyone. We've got to make sure that they've all got their own first aid kit. We've then been impacted by capacity. So where we used to have 12 in a room, we're now down to like 4. So a third of the people. So all of a sudden, increased cost, reduced capacity. Even if I double my prices, the margin's not as good.
Mm.
But I've got to do it. But I've got to explain that. And I think if I explain that well enough to my clients, I think they'll get it.
That's exactly what it is. It's about communication. Like, if you doubled your prices with no communication whatsoever, some people wouldn't even bat an eyelid, but some people would be like, really? Like, what's that about? It's about communication, about expectations. And this is what I always talk about. Where things go wrong between a business and a client or a business and employee is the lack of communication and the lack of clear expectations. It's the same in a personal relationship, isn't it? Like, I just expect my husband to see the shit on the side, but he doesn't.
That sounds so familiar. You know where the dishwasher is.
Well, do you want to explain that to me? But actually, there is an expectation that when he came in, if I was still working, I shouldn't just assume that he knows that I'm working until 10 o'clock tonight and actually he needs to sort dinner. There needs to be that communication. There needs to be an expectation of actually, when you come in, I'm going to be working to 10%. You need to sort dinner out and sort the girls out. Business is exactly the same relationship. If you expect somebody to do something, you need to communicate those expectations, because if you don't, nobody is a mind reader. Like, as good as we are and as talented as business owners are, we're not mind readers, and neither are our employees. So we need to be able to communicate wisely. And do you know what? With a mentoring business, I've upped my prices. I have no qualms about it, none whatsoever. My capacity is less now. I'm doing like 12, 14 hour days. So why would I not be compensated for that? Like, I'm working with businesses that want to get through this challenging time and want to have fast growth. They don't just want to survive this, they want to thrive in this. So actually that takes a completely different set of skills than keeping somebody accountable. So my prices have upped. I've got outgoings that I've got to pay for. I've got to bring certain people in to maybe assist, so that costs money. With the salon, I'm the same as you. We're going to have reduced capacity. We're going to have PPEs to pay for, not only for our staff, but our employees. We're going to have to make changes in the salon. I've invested thousands in PPE already, and I don't even know whether it's the right stuff or not, because we've had no guidance whatsoever.
No.
So, like, it has to, but I know that people value us because we have that connection with them. We have that experience. Not only are they desperate to get their hair done or their beauty treatments done, but they're desperate to have it with us because they want to support us. So do I think that they're going to have qualms of paying an extra £5? No, I don't, to be fair. I'm quite confident that, and if they do, they can go elsewhere. Like, we've got 20, 30 pages of people on our waiting list. And that's not to say I don't appreciate my clients, far from it, but we are a small business. Like, it's not to, every penny that I earn doesn't go into the yacht. Do you know what I mean? In my second home, in pay. Like, it goes into developing the business. We work really hard in putting our staff on training, to making sure that they get paid a decent amount, that they get good bonuses, that there is a lot that we do. We do a lot for the community. Like, that doesn't come from nowhere. So I have no qualms whatsoever about upping our prices, none. And the fact that people are going the opposite way, I'm like, that shows me that you need to develop your business skills. Like, you need some guidance, because if you're discounting your prices at this time, there's something seriously wrong.
It was a bit of a strange thing, wasn't it? And we've covered like the 6 areas pretty much, and we've kind of incorporated them into the different answers as well. So I just wanted to explore with you, with COVID and the situation. I literally, if I had hair, I'd have been tearing it out. When it first kicked off, people were like giving so much away for free and doing stuff, and I was like, you're gonna have to survive this. I don't get it at all. And then people are so keen to get capacity back again, like you say, dropping prices. It feels a little bit suicidal, really.
Counterproductive. Like, I had this same conversation with my husband. Like, trust when I say he gets this shit for free, and he is the person that listens the least.
That's because he's free and he doesn't value it, right?
Probably. That's exactly right. But he was so busy, and I'm like, well, either you've got like a little side family somewhere that you're supporting that I don't know about, or we seriously need to look at your prices, because something isn't right here. And he's saying, but I'm busy. And I'm like, but you're a busy fool. Like, you need to up your prices. You are possibly the best fitter in Peterborough. Like, you take such pride, you use such great quality products. You go above and beyond. Like, what is going, there's something missing here. And he's saying, well, I'm busy. No one's saying no to me. Wow, I'm getting every quote I'm going for. And I'm like, but that's problem one. When you're getting everybody say yes to you, you're too cheap. Like, that is red flag number one. Like, if everybody is saying yes to you, you are too cheap. But 2, actually, say you're earning, like, hypothetically, £100 a day and you're booked out 5 days a week. That's £500 for working 500. Actually, if you doubled your prices, and some people were saying no, but actually you're only working 2 days a week, you're still getting paid how much to work 2 days a week. You're getting near on the same money, but you're working less than half. Yeah. So all too often we associate being busy with being successful. Yeah. That's not why we start a business. We don't start a business to be busier than what we were when we were employed. We don't start a business to have less money than when we were employed. Stress is kind of a given to some extent. To be fair, if you have teams and responsibilities and you give a shit about your business, stress is going to be something there that you possibly can't get rid of. But nobody starts a business to work more and have less money. Yeah, so 100%. Actually, pricing is the first thing that I ever work on with somebody. It's their money mindset and it's the money. Because if you don't get your money right, you can be working as hard as you can. You could be selling millions of products. You could have the best messaging, the best website. You're not going to have a business. It's not sustainable. So I would rather have higher prices and work with less people and really make a difference with those people than wear myself too thin, work with everybody for peanuts and actually not make a difference whatsoever.
Awesome. So listeners, if any of that resonated with you, then Jo's the person to speak to. Jo, where do people find you?
So we've got a new website, jobevilacqua.com. I'm on social media. I've got a page, Jo Bevilacqua, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. My daughter's trying to get me on TikTok, but I'm not feeling that right now. That's a whole different ball game. But yeah, reach out to me. We've got loads of templates. I mean, we're still developing. As I said, we're going through the rebrand of kind of the Unique Mompreneur to Jo Bevilacqua. So don't judge me on anything that you might see, because things are still work in progress. I've never been busy. I'm literally doing like 14-hour days. I furloughed all of my staff. Chelsea's only just come back this week to support, which is great for me. But we're still getting a lot of stuff done. But at the moment, I'm just serving people. So if you want to reach out, a quick call or whatever, then let me know and we can sort that out. But yeah, I just hope it's been helpful.
Jo, it's been absolutely brilliant. You've been an absolute star. So, and don't forget to get us over that document. I'll share that with anyone who's listening as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you very soon.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate your time. Please do follow me at Pete Rushmer on LinkedIn, or on Facebook, follow Flagship Training UK, and you can find us on YouTube too at Flagship UK.